Hello and welcome to another episode of Fulham Chronicles. Hello, Melinda.
Hi, Zara.
Should we just discuss how lovely our last event was?
It was
and the weather?
I know, we were super lucky, really lucky. It's
Yeah.
great, good vibe.
Yeah, exactly. Now everyone is asking us, when is the next one? Should we keep that information
Yes.
in our pockets and maybe, take it out? But yeah, I'm just looking at somebody smiling at me. So who do we have in the studio today?
So today we have George Howard and we also have Sabina, how do I pronounce it?
Sabina Skala.
Skala, that's Sally, yeah.
Lovely to having it here, guys.
Well, thank you for having us.
Is this your first time recording a podcast?
Yes, it is actually. Yeah.
Oh, no. Please don't have high expectations.
There's never high expectations.
Sabina's expert.
Yeah. So the guys, we're missing one person. So shout out to Robbie.
Stand at the table.
So shout out to Robbie in Scotland. And we should say you're from Lyceum Fit here, based in Fulham. So yes, there we go. So
Right, I cannot wait to hear all about it. I know the name because it's very, from my part of the world, and you can start telling us why the name and how did you trio met?
Oh, great question. Well, so firstly, the name, we wanted to name it after Aristotle's gym, which is called the Lyceum. And that was partly because, firstly, he kind of used it for military training. We quite like the idea of that. But then he also used it as somewhere where he could exercise the mind and teach people like different things and have lectures and stuff. So we quite like that idea. So it's kind of physical fitness as well as mental fitness. And that kind of resonates with me as well because actually we're just talking about this before, 14 years today, I had quite a serious head injury. I got hit by a taxi and I had to kind of retrain my brain. And that's why I've always been quite interested. I was a little intoxicated. I was a little intoxicated and woke up a few days later like, last night was heavy.
Not as heavy as I can't really say out loud how heavy it was.
But yeah, so anyway, part of my rehab was essentially kind of exercising the mind.
Because you had to, sorry to interrupt, because you had to literally go back to basics to learn how to read, and that you only realise that after sort of a few days. Yeah,
so it was a bizarre situation. I was kind of reading stuff that my friends were giving me, and I just wasn't taking it on board at all. And then I said to my mum, I was like, "Mum, I can't read." And then my brother was like, "Well, you've never been able to do that anyway." I read a book which was called The Brain That Always Changes Itself, and it talks about the brain being a muscle just like any other muscle in the body. You just need to exercise it, and so that's essentially what I did. So hopefully, I'm a bit more coherent.
You sound like.
And how did you meet Sabina?
Yeah, exactly.
We met through mutual friends.
Yeah.
Yes.
So wait. Right. So the name. That's the name. Perfect. Now,
yes.
Who met who first? Who came with the idea? And how did you meet Sabina? Maybe so we know the entire story of how did it come to life.
So do you want me to?
Yeah.
So basically, Sabina was training one of my good friends a few years ago and was working in a gym called The Fort. I'd just come back from being away and was looking for somewhere to train. And so then I ended up training at Sabina's place, The Fort. And yeah, that's how we kind of met. And then lockdown happened.
Yeah, then the lockdown happened.
Yeah.
And at that point, we knew we wanted to open something together. So we started looking for a place which didn't prove easy.
No.
We got one, and pretty much a couple of days before signing the agreement, because we got a part of the space, someone approached the owner and rented the entire
whole
space.
thing.
So we had
frustrating.
We had to go back to square one. But I mean, at that point, for me, it was tragedy. But
yeah.
But when you look at it now,
yes, exactly.
now,
Everything happens
yes,
for a reason,
exactly.
guys. It wasn't for you. That was not the place for you to be.
So then we kept on looking.
Yeah.
And actually, we thought it'd be best if there's three of us. So I know Robbie through one of my university friends. They went to school together at a school called Merchiston. Like, and they're an odd bunch, but they're a great bunch.
Is that what he ran away in Scotland?
So then I said, look, are you interested? And then I think it was one of your clients knew Tim, who set up the community.
The Sands and Arts and Community Centre.
And so we ended up speaking to him. Tim was very much like a yes man. We said we're looking for someone. We said we wanted to do stuff for the community. And he said, well, look, we've got this space here. It's not much at the moment, but it could make it good. And so that happened 3 years ago.
It's 3 years ago.
Nearly coming up to 3 years.
3 years.
Have you guys thought about going somewhere bigger? Is it in...
I think we would love to. I think in London, it's a huge financial stress.
Yeah, I agree.
And then we are trainers. We not marketing people, management people. And I think when you start focusing on management too much, which we have to do to a degree, it takes away from what you are really good at. So for the moment, we are very happy where we are. We would love to develop it into a bigger space, but that's...
But also with the community
time.
aspect, you've been so building on that in terms of that you're offering... Well, that was the beginning of the idea, wasn't it?
Yes.
That you wanted to make it accessible to everybody from all different backgrounds. So it's not everybody has to cough up a big monthly membership fee. So you've got you can say that to me, but your over 60s classes, you do a lot with mobility with older people.
Talk us through what does make you
part of the community.
Yeah.
So we do quite a bit. So I do a run club. I also do a run club with our Terex as well, which is all kind of very much community kind of focused. Sabina does a lot as well. So at the moment...
So I started working, I've been working with them for probably a year now. Medaya, not fitness. This is our WhatsApp group name. With Medaya Charity, which is basically a group of Somali ladies that meet at the community center. And they all very busy moms. Fitness is not really something that is very popular or priority in that community. And as they admit, the nutrition is a bit off because of certain foods they eat. So the big problem there is actually diabetes type 2, joint pain, any inflammatory diseases. So we started working with Somali ladies for obvious reasons. I was the trainer for them. They need a female trainer and they need a safe space where they can train and don't worry about, anything. So
that's super nice, isn't it? That's wonderful.
they're a very nice bunch. And I think when we started, the movement wasn't really good. So we had to go back to the basic, teach them how to move the body correctly, because movement is not a problem, but moving well is something that always needs to be worked on. Because
sorry for interrupting, is this something that's open to, so you said that you're working with a charity at the moment,
yes,
but is this something that will be open to all of Fulham, all SW6? So if they would approach you,
I think for this program it's just with that charity, but we have done other stuff. So we worked with the local council with a unit called Gangs Exploitation Group, and essentially we're working with young kids and trying to use fitness as like a way of kind of influencing them. And the council was very happy with our work, and they said we made a big difference. Although at the time, it didn't feel like. It felt like we could have given more, but the feedback we were given that it made a big difference, which was great to kind of see. If you reach out to us, and we can look at doing like more kind of projects as well. Obviously, there's only 3 of us, so it's very difficult for us to kind of do as much as we'd like. So if we could get funding as well, that'd be great, and then we can get people that can work for us, and we can start doing a bit more and some more.
Are you interested in
community
collaborations with other people? Me and Melinda, we can have a chat, and be more than happy to guide you through sending you, and introducing you to people
100%.
that are there for a long time.
If our goals align and, we can do something good for them, they can do something good for us, and it reflects good on community and the community centre and us and them, yes, 100%.
We're very open to doing lots of collaborations. One that we're doing at the moment, actually, Robbie, who isn't here, unfortunately, he's doing a collaboration with Thursday Datings, which are now doing dating other than Thursdays. So,
Which is great.
But that sounds so much fun. Do you know what, Melinda? Should we just pretend for a night?
But I remember you guys at one of our socials events talking about this ages ago. So it's so great that you've got this up and running. It's a fantastic idea.
So it is great. So Robbie's doing a singles class. So Melinda, if you want to go to a singles class, that's on Wednesday nights, 6:30, and that's with a collaboration with Thursdays and Hit Social. So which is great. So we're open to kind of doing more stuff like that. And just working with more people, and the more we can give back to the community, the better. We also do High Rocks classes. Have you guys heard of High Rocks?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a new
that's brilliant.
kind of competition, which is great. I did one in Birmingham on Saturday, which was very good. So the legs are a bit stiff at the moment.
So it's very interesting for you to be saying that, because I know so many people personally that have been looking for high rocks around London, because it's Manchester. There is like Birmingham. There are obviously London, but how amazing would it be to do High Rocks for Fulham?
Yeah.
And then we can just put you all together with other people that we know in your field.
We're just in collaboration with them. So we run classes. So we got one on Monday night, which I do, and then one on Thursday night. But again, it's something that you're talking about us growing bigger. If we had more space, then maybe we could have got more coaches.
But you know what? You going bigger only happens if you go bigger with people. So that means people will come to help you. So you're not going to get bigger, the three of you. So as I said, and I think, as me and Melinda know, collaborating and, coming together as a community, hence this lovely podcast is for people that are listening to you today. And you mentioned their funding, and you mentioned there that you're ready to collaborate with everyone. This is your way of saying we are open, but we need help. And it's no shame for you guys to say that you need help. I think, we all do.
And also now if your legs are a bit stiff, you can jump in your ice bath now.
Oh, of course, we have an ice bath as well. Yeah, so we haven't seen you around there.
No. I know.
Melinda is amazing. I love it.
But also we can do bespoke High Rocks classes for local businesses as well. So you have people come here on the show and looking for a bit of fitness for High Rocks, for more kind of teamwork based kind of stuff. We can do that as well, so we can kind of make very bespoke.
No, me and Melinda can definitely put you in touch with loads of other people.
But also what I like about you guys is that you can be flexible as well, right? So because I've seen if you've got groups of friends, so I think that's, to me, is what your, correct me if I'm wrong, is a bit of your USP, is that I could say, like, I've got a group of friends or people I know and say, hey, like, we all want to come together and do something. Can you do that for us? And you can, exactly. Whereas if you're a gym, well, everyone's got to have membership. Everyone's got to sign up for that. It's not going to work. So that, I mean, of course, you can go to other classes and make friends or whatever, but that's what I like about you. I think that is one of your USPs, right?
That's a brilliant way. I didn't even know that. So talk us to the pricing.
Write that on our website.
Yes. You should. Honestly, I think you've got something there, because not many people are not, that I know of in the area are doing that. And as you said, it would be so great for you to talk more about it. So guide us to pricing. So how would it work if we would want to, me and Melinda are putting a team together, and she's ready to plunge into that icy waters. So what would we do? Are you bespoke? Is it like a price?
So obviously there are different pricing systems for one-to-one training. That's at the moment probably is the most pricey option.
Of course.
It's always bespoke because it depends how many people in the group.
Timings,
it depends on the timings.
So
depends how we. Depends on the goal as well, because some may take longer than others. Some require a little bit more knowledge than the others. When it comes to classes, George, maybe.
So with the High Rocks classes, it's between like £10 and £20 based off
That's
How many
brilliant.
sessions
It's
you
so
buy.
affordable.
Affordable.
It's great, for you to have said that because, I think so many people are firstly ashamed to be going to the gym because they feel like, oh, he are watching. But if you're doing it as a group with people you trust and friends and family or whatever not. So you, as Melinda said, I agree, you do have something there and is your USP.
We could probably get like a discount code as well for your listeners if you wanted. We're just having our website updated and our essentially a relaunch of our website and our booking system. So because we're not great at marketing, so we've got someone to help us.
You're pretty good at it.
No, we're useless. We're getting better.
I think you're pretty good at it. I checked out the old grid. It's looking good. It's looking easy on the eye. And your videos, I think it's about you guys. And if you look at your reviews, what people say about you, it's always about the vibe, nice people. Yeah. And that really comes across.
Talking about that, I would love to know all about who are you as people? Ladies first.
Good question.
Obviously, do you not spill all of the beans? But
okay,
what did get you into fitness? Firstly, and are you? Do you live locally?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so my sports background is kayaking. That's what I did since the age of 8, and I competed until I was 16. I'll just cut the story short. Anyway, I'm Polish. So back then in Poland, if you wanted to continue in sport, you had to go to special sports championship school by the time you were 16, which was the other end of the country. After that school, you could only study sports science. No other uni would take you because the academia, the sport was really good. Academia wasn't very good in schools like that. So obviously, my parents said absolutely no, so I didn't do that. So kayaking was the first thing I did, but and then just different things. I did couple of ultra endurance races, not as many as Josh. He does way more. And recently, for the past couple of years, I'm more into climbing high mountains.
Wow.
Just came back from Switzerland. We did the Eiger and then just a short trip to Austria and Slovenia. In Austria, we were just doing some fun climbing and Slovenia Triglav. And then hopefully, not this coming year, but in 2 years, we will try to do Aconcagua. I never can pronounce it very well.
What is it?
Aconcagua. It's just under 7,000 meters, so it's high, and it's about 2 weeks climb.
Are you going to go, George? Is it like a team?
George does high.
I got other plans.
Well, that sounds absolutely amazing. I think that's what makes people going to places. People with stories and people that are, they're sharing the same passions, or they're interested in how was your climb, or.
Also, I'll plug a local business here. I go to jiu-jitsu at Consistency Jiu-Jitsu, local Fulham, North End Road. So great. I train jiu-jitsu
and she
as
loves
well.
rehab.
And I love rehab, yes.
Yeah, she's a specialist rehab.
What is going on okay.
I tore a couple of ligaments in my knee, so I've been doing rehab every day for the past year and a half.
Well,
so
I think this is the price, when you're such a good sports person.
Something usually goes. Yeah, well, it sooner or later.
Yeah.
Wear or tear. Yeah,
exactly.
So Sabina, it's climbing for you, and for you, running.
It is. Oh, do you want me to describe Robbie? Because obviously he's not
Robbie,
here. I can quickly.
I couldn't stop him.
I think we can say something about Robbie at the end after you have said something about yourself that you're here in person. Do not try and run away from us. George.
So how did I get into fitness? So I've always, similar to Sabina, I've always been interested in learning how to keep fit and strong. I studied at school, then I studied at university. Then actually I cycled to Istanbul right after university.
Oh, wow.
So got into the endurance
about it. Yeah, I just cycled to Fulham Broadway.
And then got hit by a taxi, lost my brains, and had to redo everything.
How old were you when that happened?
So I just graduated, so I timed it perfectly.
Oh my gosh.
Just after I got graduation, and then so I got my masters, and then lost my brains. So, and then I tell you what, 8 months after that, that's when I got into ultra ultra marathon running. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do an ultra marathon and raise money for Headway, which is a charity that deals with people with head injuries, and did my first ultra. And that was kind of how I got into it, really. And then it's really weird. Every time I did an ultra, I was thinking, I didn't think this is too far. I didn't think I can do this. And then I do it and I'm like, that wasn't too bad. And then suddenly what you feel is what you're capable of just kind of expands a bit more. So then I'm like, I'm going to go further. So then I went a little further. Then I did the UTMB in 2015, which is like one of the biggest races that everyone wants to do for trail running. It's amazing. It's up and down mountains, 170 kilometers and 10,000 meter high altitude up and down gain. So that was good. I did like Devizes to Westminster Row, which is 125 kilometres, done that twice, and then did a few more ultras.
You went to Waitrose for your shopping. I went to Waitrose, then I popped in Sainsbury's, and why not? I said.
You're making me feel exhausted on a Monday. Oh my gosh.
Oh wow.
I am not a runner at all. Yeah.
Well, maybe you could be though.
Oh no, this is another thing I'm going to get harassed about. I'm joking.
Yeah, maybe you could. But then I think from there, I was just like, okay, now what? I've done that. Okay, let's go bigger. So then I went 200 miles, and then 2 years ago I did a 350 kilometer one, which is the Tour de Gijón, that's a tough one. That's 350 kilometers, but then you're going up and down about 30,000 kilometers. So yeah, I just got about now I'm doing CrossFit, not CrossFit. Sorry, now I'm doing high rocks.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was shorter.
Wow, George,
It should be easy compared to.
Well, it's never easy though. That's the problem I've made before. Is you think, I've done this, I've gone like 200 miles or whatever, of 350 kilometers. This will be like 100 miles will be easy. It never is. Or even like when you just do like a marathon, even though you've done ultras,
I thought I'm going to die in
still
my
hard.
half marathon. I was half
5Ks.
Yeah.
5Ks can be really tough as well.
It's just, I think, is that line. I don't know, obviously you're an expert. I've only like the best I've done was, half a marathon, and I thought I'm going to die. But you do, hit that wall, as they call it. And if you can, I think running with your brains, talking about the brains, need to come along so the fact that you have a new one, perhaps, you are so,
it's the mental.
So it's interesting you say that, and I think there is actually like a strong crossover with some of the coping strategies that you have for endurance events as what you have just to everyday life. Sometimes, like every now and then, people always fall down, but then just around the corner there's a big high. So when you're running, you may have like a super low and you're like, I can't do it. You just get through that and you get to the next checkpoint, then you're high again. Yeah. And then a low. And then a high, and then you finish and you're like, high.
That's when those sachets are coming handful. I never understood the idea with,
the gels.
Yeah, so I've had to learn, but it's exactly what you said. Melinda, you genuinely feel like blank in front of your eyes. You feel like you're made of jelly, and then once that kicks in, obviously it takes training. You're not doing it on a day of the marathon, but once you take that in, it feels like it's like an adrenaline.
You've got a bit more energy, and you've got a big high,
Well, that must be the ultimate high, yes. When you finish and when you get to, or when you're doing a climb and you get to the top.
Have you ever cried at the end? Never. Why am I the only one? No, obviously I'm not. He's joking.
Sabina did.
I did.
Yes. Oh, so you did.
Wow, of course.
Come on, boys can cry too, George. Don't you, try and like. But I love that because
it's cutting onions.
I've seen. Do you know what? You see so many people doing that, and you feel like it's that adrenaline, and you're so proud of yourself, and you're proud of for.
It's probably a combination of so many different feelings of feeling that you've.
It is like at the end. Was crying.
At the end, it is like suddenly you're like, especially like the long ones when you've been going for it and it's been painful and your face is swelled up and everything. And you're like, but then you still get a bit of a low after you because you're like, what next?
Should we talk a bit about Robbie, just like a line or two?
Yeah.
Just so we see he doesn't feel like
he's left out.
I'll take this a bit. So Robbie,
sorry, Robbie.
So Robbie got a tough time, didn't he, a few weeks ago at the charity fundraiser that we went to? It was hilarious.
What happened? What have I missed?
The last time I saw these guys, we were surrounded by sword swallowers, and George was on stage with the magician.
Yeah, and
we made a mistake. We
Who did you want to disappear?
I asked the magician if he could cut Sabina in half, but he said he could. But
Didn't go for it on the night.
she loves rehab, that's why.
Some more stuff to read.
But anyway, so Robbie, as mentioned, he went to school in Merchiston with that rowdy bunch of lads.
Thank goodness he didn't say weird ones again.
And so he also was really interested in kind of fitness. So he studied PE at Oxford Brookes, and then he moved to London, then started teaching at the Garden House, and then went into personal training and kind of built up his client base around central London. And then he came... Oh, so he's a big rugby player. So he
how
loves
the
rugby.
three of you have come up with this idea? Did you see a need for it? Was it who came first? I don't want to say I came first, whatever. But what was the?
So it was from Sabina. So it's the fact that Sabina had enough at the gym she was working at, and wanted to go somewhere else, and then asked me.
Okay, so that's how it worked. We tried to figure out.
Yeah.
So I think it's because we are three different personalities, and also three of us specialize in different things.
Yeah, you're all bringing something different to the mix.
But
that's the best, isn't it?
Yeah. So Robbie, he's very good with family fitness, very good with kids, very good with mums. He runs mums classes. He works a lot with kids. That's his thing, which is we can
natural.
cross over and take over, but it's not what our main thing is. So he was like the third missing piece.
Oh, amazing! So
that's how.
So you each and one of you have your
different.
own niche.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. So Robbie does his singles classes. He does his parents' fitness in the morning, Tuesdays, Fridays. Sabina does. Likes rehab, but also trains jiu-jitsu people. And I'd say we're both more kind of like strength and conditioning focused. Yeah, so I've done a master's in strength and conditioning, and Sabina's done loads of experience with working with strength and conditioning athletes. And obviously I'm more focused on ultramarathons and running and endurance activities.
Are you training people that want to run? Not that I'm interested, but...
Yeah, please do. Go for it.
I think the worst thing is for somebody to tell you, you can do it. You're like, you do it, run off.
Well, that's it. And I think it's only about 1% of people do the marathon. It might be more now, but
it's not easy.
It's all relative to who you are as well. And I think is... like I said, a crossover with kind of mental health. As soon as you finish something, you're like, wow, okay, I can do that.
Should we do those on a spot? Do you know what we're doing?
Do you want to do press-ups? How many press-ups?
That would be great. Show us here so everyone can see. Pass.
100
But no,
squats.
this is something we always do with all our guests, and obviously you are no exception. So, Melinda, would you like to... do you know what? Choose your destiny. Who do you want to ask?
I'm going to ask George. So you keep saying like you finish and you're on the low, and then it's like, what's next? So what is next? What are you training for? What would be the dream kind of ultra that you would love to do?
That's a good one.
It is a good one. So there's a few things. So one is there's a race that I didn't manage to finish back in 2017 because it was a team event. My friend, also very good at endurance. He's a doctor. He's skied across the South Pole twice. He's fitter than me. So perfect person. He's actually my best man at my wedding. So he was a perfect person for the event. But unfortunately, he pulled his meniscus. So we had to come off after 3 days of going up and down the mountains. Again, this is a long one. So this is like 300 kilometers going up and down mountains, I think 24,000 meters or whatever. Anyway, so I want to try and get a team together for that. Also, I'm helping train a few teams to do the Patrol de Glacier as well, which is a ski mountaineering race from Verbier to Switzerland.
Wow, Melinda, when we're finishing this podcast, we need to do something about it.
My going to the gym 4 times a week is like paling into insignificance.
And then the one after that is another one called the Tour de Glacier, which is slightly different to the Patrol de Glacier because you're running up and down it, but that's even further. That's 450 kilometers. And so, like, physically, that's kind of what I'm focused on. But then also, I got another son being born in a few weeks' time. So,
is it literally a few weeks?
Yeah, so 19th of November. So, sorry, ladies, I won't be on the singles.
You're going to be very
George's wife
busy.
saying, make sure you're making it public.
So yeah, that's the plan for that, and obviously build up our business and make that into more of a success and do more community stuff.
But it's been a great first
well.
3 years,
Yeah.
so hasn't
So-
it?
I agree.
You've achieved a lot.
Well, it feels like things have gone slow, but we're getting there. We're expanding slowly, and maybe, like you said at the beginning, if we had a bigger space, maybe at some point we might be able to have a.
Do you know
bigger
what? The
space.
first 5 years of a business is just the learning 5 years. After 5 years, so you still have, 2 to go. That's when you are making a change because you already know what it works. People already would have heard of you. So, do not put too much pressure on. It's 3 years, but it's been 3 tough years after the pandemic. People took time to come back to their normal brains.
And also, it's a period to reflect as well, actually,
Yes,
because
exactly.
when we've been doing this for 6 months, and when suddenly you stop and go, oh, we've
What works,
done,
what doesn't,
and also we've done this, and then when you actually take the time out to think about it.
Yeah.
So you should definitely do the time to take the time out and think about what you've achieved. It's
been great actually working with the Sandend Art and Community Centre as well. That's been really great to kind of get more involved with them. We helped paint the pavilion the other day, and it's a great little place as well. So at some point, what I'd love to help do is create like a little ice rink, and I've mentioned this to Nina so many times.
That would be so cool.
And create like a little winter wonderland, which would be amazing. I think it'd be great. Also, it'd be great to have pizza ovens there as well. But I keep on saying to Nina, she's like, oh.
Which part of the business are you supporting here? Yeah. I had a question in mind, but I've changed the question. And that's not always a good... No, I'm joking. No, it's good. But you were talking about, being from Poland and... sports was a big thing, for you.
Yeah.
And I think, that kind of made you who you are today. But if you're thinking about the little you, little you before the sports, what would you have become if not who you are today?
Oh my God, it will be sport, unfortunately. So ever since I was really, really little girl, I always wanted to be a jockey.
Oh,
wow. I always wanted to be a jockey.
Did you not know that, George?
Literally came out of nowhere.
You're just finding out.
I think I was, I was a really energetic kid. And as soon as the sport was gone, I got in a little bit of trouble. I wasn't very nice for about a year. So I just needed to move. It's the year to come, Judge.
FYI, it's coming.
So I think it's actually what I want to say. A lot of kids are diagnosed with ADHD at the moment, but I think the problem is that we put kids at school, we take PE classes out, a lot of them. None of the kids will just sit still for 5-6 hours and then go home, do the homework and sit still at home.
That's brilliant. And, that's something that makes you. And I think, it's something special. Because usually people with sports come from a dancing background or they've experienced it in a different, more, different way.
Yeah. I tried dance. I'm just not very good. I can learn it technically, but I just don't have much grace. So I'll look like a robot dancing.
I can show you.
Well, ballroom ballet.
Do the old click.
George is good on the old jazz hands.
Yeah, you'll be the clicker.
Oh, you've seen that, have you? You've seen my
Jazz hands. Oh, that's great.
Well, thank you so much,
Thank
guys.
you for having
Thank you,
us.
guys.
And it'd be
It was
great
a pleasure.
We should
to
do
come
these more often.
and have Robbie round as well.
Yeah.
So he can defend himself.
He keeps saying, he keeps saying, George, he keeps saying that he feels like is he the Joker of your tribe?
Oh, Robbie.
Yeah.
No, George is.
No.
Let's say, let's
See
say
that
Robbie.
smoke there, like a Cheshire cat. Like, not sure.
Yeah. No, Robbie just takes the brunt of it all, doesn't he? It was so
does.
funny the other day. I have to say, I was in hysterics
I bet you were
watching.
loving it.
Right, well, thank you again so much
Yeah,
for coming
thank
here
you.
today.
Thank
and
you,
then
guys.
Melinda, I'll
Thank
send it
you,
over to
George
you.
and Sabina, for coming in. We really enjoyed having this chat and catching up on everything. And yes, Lyceum Fit, get in touch, speak to them.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, before we wrap up, a huge thank you to our sponsor Archie Pango, and also a huge thanks as ever to Voxpod Studios for their amazing support and the fantastic team here at the studio in the heart of Fulham. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you again,
Thank you.
guys.
Thanks, guys.